And now for something completely different.
What I do is I look a woman up and down and I say,
I'm coming to join you, bitch.
Oh, is that too far?
Oh, you want to get into things?
Well, I mean...
No. Let's get into things. Let's get real. Everybody, Bojack wants to get real. Cancel the bubble round, because we're getting real.
Hello, everybody watching and everybody whose face I can also see. This is another episode of No Time to Binge, which is a very weird show because if you don't know, combined, we have roughly 235-ish podcasts, and we just don't have time to watch shows anymore. So what we decided to do was we decided to watch the very first episode and the very last episode of a show and try to kind of figure out what that weird, muddly, weird stuff in the middle is. But
the stuff that nobody cares about.
The stuff that really nobody cares about. And I'm not obviously going to do it alone. I got some of my friends to come and help me try to figure out what goes on in these shows. And we always have somebody who knows what it is so we can have those questions answered. We have Miss B. Highland. Miss B, how are you?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm queer and full of existential fear. Let's do this.
Yeah. Loving the makeup. Loving the vibe. Super, super great.
Thank you. Happy Pride, everyone.
Hell yes. Hell yes. B, you want to tell people where you're from, what they can find you, if they want to find more of B. Highland before we get into this weird show?
So I'll be honest, I can barely hear you. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes.
We can hear you.
You can.
You sound really good, B.
Thank you.
Put
Everyone
your
else's
earbuds
is sounding
in.
kind of awful. No offense.
Do I sound weird to anybody else?
No.
You sound better than
So
normal.
Must just be me. Hang on.
Everyone
sounds really tinny.
Are you wearing wireless earbuddies?
I am. You know what? I'm going to change it.
Good idea, Michael.
Well, while we're all fawning over B's makeup and she's changing out her earbuds, we're going to get to my partner in crime, Mr. Dylan Terry. Dylan, how are you, sir?
Yes, I'm doing well. It is sweltering here.
Oh, B's back. Yes.
Oh, B's back. Here we go.
Dylan, can I ask, how did that feel?
I didn't hear you.
B is more important than you, Dylan. So.
Oh yeah,
very much so.
We're off to such a great start.
Do we sound better? Do I sound good? I don't sound any better. Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Good. I use
nothing makes a better podcast than working out audio issues at the very beginning.
While we're live, I love it.
Yeah, we nailed it. Best episode yet, guys.
That's
all right,
okay.
See you next week. Huh?
See, this is one of those shows that is just raw and uncensored. We literally say whatever we want here.
We are on the edge, Zach. You know.
Please don't tell me that I can just say anything I want because I will.
Literally whatever you want, B. But where can people find you if they want to listen to your voice more?
You can find my podcast, Deep Lore, pretty much everywhere. Same with Is This Podcast a JoJo reference? If you are more interested in my cosplay content, you can follow me on Instagram at b.bethy. That's about it.
I love it.
You can also follow me on Twitter at QueenBethyD, but I don't use it much.
Yeah, but still find you. I mean, the more followers, the better. All right, we're going to get back in a second. Let's get back to Dylan Terry, which was dramatically cut off by some way better sounding and makeup than he ever has. But Dylan, how are you, sir?
I am fine. I'm still really hot in here.
Yeah. It's still hot in Colorado. It's almost 100 degrees in random places. But so Horror Story, American Horror Story. Have you seen this before?
I saw the first season. Ghost Murder House. Ghost Murder House. And I remember
the one where they murder the house.
Yes. Yeah. And the house becomes a ghost and haunts them. Great
that was
reversal.
a good one.
I thought it was fine. It was Kate Mara and Matt Dillon, and I thought it was a weird ending because they all wind up as ghosts in a house together with a ghost baby for eternity, and that sounds like the worst way to spend the afterlife.
Yeah, that does sound bad.
Yeah.
But honestly, this show was, I'm going to say bad. I'm whatever. But we got more people we're going to talk to. We have Mr. Matt Deterior, AHS Deterior in the house. How are you, sir? Whoa, spooky.
Yeah, I was practicing that all day.
Yeah.
I think it landed. Yeah, hey, Matt Deterior here, ghost hunter and AM radio host at the local community college. That would be 93.8. Let's drop the hate, everyone. AM, local college radio.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's WGST, right? The Ghost with the Most radio shows.
Yes, exactly, Zach.
Okay.
Thank you for picking up my lack of knowledge. Not even knowledge, just delivering the knowledge. I am still in the 3:45 to 4 a.m. slot, so catch me there. Also, Jack Billings presents podcast. If you listen to podcasts, maybe listen to that. I do one voice for 2 episodes.
Now you are a fan of American Horror Story, is that correct or not correct?
You know what? I liked the first 2 seasons a great deal. There's, you know what? Every season of American Horror Story, there are things they do and ideas they at least attempt to take a swing at that I greatly support and I am often excited about. Unfortunately, they also make a lot of decisions that I just kind of have to throw my hands up and be like, well, I guess that's a choice. And but yeah, I write all these out, and maybe glutton for punishment. Definitely not going to try to defend a lot of the choices, but I enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And very close to you is Mr. Michael Colby. He is a horror aficionado. He is a beard fanatic on multi-levels. And he is a fan of also being in podcasts. Why don't you talk for a sec?
I have to come clean with you guys. For almost the entire season of Jack Billings Presents, me and my neighbor Michael, we were trying to pretend that it was a real place with real things that happened. But in reality, I wrote the whole thing. I do all of the voices. I'm a very talented voice actor. All the twists and turns were my ideas. And Matt plays Officer Perez in 2 episodes. And that's it.
And may I also add that you threw me for a loop with a couple of those things. And when I attempted to just get my bearings about me and try to crack a joke here or there, I drowned. I tried my best, my friend.
Yeah,
but
and I edit out almost everything that Matt says anyway.
And I appreciate that.
But yeah, I'm in a bunch of podcasts. We do, obviously, Jack Billings, The Real Boys, and this one. We are retooling I Love This Terrible Game, which is a video game podcast. We're recording the first episode of that new format tomorrow. So that'll be out soon. It's going to be very fun. I also improvise some sketch comedy on a show called The Pod Skit, which is very fun. And yeah.
Wait. You're on the Pod Skit too?
I am on the Pod Skit too.
I love that show.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful show.
I keep hearing you say that, so I'm gonna believe you eventually. But let's hop into American Horror Story, if that's okay. Now, I have no reference of what this show is. I know that it was created by the people who did Glee. I do know that some people like the show. I know that I have not seen literally any of it except for now currently 2 episodes. Michael, quick question. Who is the target audience for season 5? Who is this geared to?
I honestly could not tell you. It does feel a little bit like YA, but at the same time, it's also very graphic. Like that sex scene in the first thing, and like the violence besides the fact that it's very,
There's far
very
more
obviously
rape.
CGI'd blood, which looked just maybe the worst CGI blood I've ever seen.
AMC does a lot more violence than sex on this, though. Like, you have the sex scene, but no nudity, and then you have multiple instances of people having their throat slit on screen and the blood gushing out across the setting.
Yeah,
There
also
is-
like heroin use and intestines hanging out,
Yeah.
and I think this is for bored mothers, right? Like this is for like mothers that just want to be like, oh my god, that is just terrifying, but it's not.
That sounds about right. I was very happy with the amount of male butts that I saw, because normally it's a lot of female nudity and not a lot of male nudity. Yeah. But I think we saw more guy butts than we saw ladies' butts.
Well, that is what this season's actually known for, Michael. It is the man butt season. I mean, not in all circles, but the ones that are serious about it, obviously.
Yeah, very white man butts. Some white butts. But okay, quickly, B. So we watched the first episode and the last episode. First episode is titled Checking In, I believe, right? Will you just briefly describe to me what happens in this episode?
Were you talking to me? Because I actually can't hear. I can hear literally every other word.
Oh,
is
no.
she doing her Jack Billings impersonation?
I think she's doing a bit.
So, when we all sat down and decided who the comedian of the team would be, that's when three of us had voted in B. So
yeah. That is a good prank.
I'm about
Never
to
saw that one
switch
before.
devices. I'll be right back.
The problem is that B has never done a podcast before, so this is her very first one. So we're gonna have to. But here, I did take some notes on.
Now I did something different this time. I took 0 notes while watching it, and at the end of it, I was like, "What do I remember? What happened in this episode?" So, Michael, go ahead. What happened in episode 1?
Okay, well, these two French ladies.
They were Swedish, Michael.
Okay, whatever.
Thank you.
I have in parentheses Olsens.
No.
And then I wrote, surely they will not factor into this series, which was obviously wrong.
Yeah, maybe.
My next thing is they open up the mattress and there's a stink man inside.
Who gets woken up by the cutting of ropes?
Yeah, who gets woken up by getting like the air touching his skin. I don't know, because we don't see him anymore after that. Then we see some kid vampires.
We don't know they're vampires at the time.
Well, they do drink the blood.
Yeah,
they do drink the blood.
Yeah, and they are in the credits.
I still don't.
I
still don't know who's like, if anyone is actually a vampire, because they are drinking blood, but I'm not sure that they're vampires.
Yeah, Michael, they could just be on the keto diet. So whatever. Yeah,
very true. Very true.
And then we have this murder scene that where we're introduced to our detective, our main character.
Yeah,
possibly?
This is Detective Plastic
John.
Bag Watcher, right?
Yeah,
Devilbeard from Hunger Games.
Yeah, his like this murder scene with this woman impaled to the bed, and the guy with his eyes and tongue cut out, and then his penis is super glued inside of her.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
Brutal, dude.
All right. Yeah. You guys can't just sit there and act like you've never had the good old super glue lube switcheroo.
Yeah,
it
but
happened.
not. Yeah, but to be on
outside of college.
But to be
wow.
Yay!
B, you are back just in time for my question. Okay, so first murder scene, right? Everyone's dead.
Yep.
His peni is super glued into this dead lady. Now, technically, still having intercourse, right? I believe so. Is this man a necrophile?
Is this really your question?
Yeah, this is what our listeners want to know.
This is what the people want. Give the people what they want. Yeah, I think so.
I agree.
I would say so.
I disagree
mean-
because
I disagree. I
Yeah.
disagree.
Well,
I think-
they are having intercourse, and she's dead.
yeah, but
Yeah.
he's not
he's
not
still got
enjoying
his-
it.
You
This-
don't know that,
True.
Michael.
It's the file
Yeah.
part that I have an issue with. Like, yeah, is he doing the act? Sure. Is he seeking it out and liking it? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Dylan, it sounds like you're the tiebreaker on this one.
Oh, I stopped paying attention. I'm looking up the carousel scene from Catcher in the Rye because I was gonna make a Holden Caulfield joke when they get to the carousel scene.
All right, I guess that solves it, guys.
Cool.
We end on a tie. Maybe it was. Who knows?
I'm really glad that we had that conversation.
Yeah.
that
That's
was good.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going through this episode. My next note is this detective's family is definitely going to die.
Yeah.
And then we get a guy who checks in, does heroin, and is drill fucked to death by
Yeah,
some weird melty wax man with no face.
Yeah, Schmidt from New Girl is is really getting the pipe laid to him.
The Candle Gimp.
Whew. All right, and then the last.
Can we? This guy's like, you know that not pierogi, like the dumpling wrapping, the translucent dumpling wrapping.
Yeah,
it's this
Like a-
rapey,
like
this
like a spring
rapey
roll.
demon.
Like a wonton wrapper?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
God.
Yeah,
It
I
just-
wrote I wrote down the skin that's on the back of those hairless cats, like the skin on their necks.
but more translucent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not a fan of the rape demon.
Boy.
Yeah,
not
no.
not too cool.
This aired on television. Like,
I would have to say he in my book a villain.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was like, oh, Schmidt, he's a heroin user who pays way too much for hotel room. I guess he's a bad guy, but I really do not want this happening to any bad guys.
No.
Maybe some bad guys. I don't think heroin use is worth having the drill butt thing, which
No.
there's no blood later on. So did this happen?
There is so much that I'm not sure if it happened or
Because
not.
when they show him later on, very white butt, zero blood. And I would assume that a drill back there, unless you're used to the drilling,
Yeah.
that guy probably did not lube anything whatsoever.
Listen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Okay.
I'm not kink shaming. I'm just curious why.
We don't know what
no
he'd do
blood.
in his free time.
that's true.
Don't kink shame.
that's- That's fair.
From the way that he was acting, I don't think he's getting his butt drilled on a regular basis because he was not enjoying that at all.
But I think it might have been a ghost butt drilling.
Does that really make it any better?
I do not
Maybe.
understand the ghost, because I have watched 2 other full seasons of this show. I watched 1984 and Cult.
Yeah.
And it does seem like ghosts factor into this show a lot.
Well, okay,
Um,
so I do have some ghost questions, knowing like first and last episode only. Number 1, ghosts can drink alcohol and can be appreciative of free alcohol.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As a ghost hunter myself, most apparitions that I encounter are like, "Hey, bro, you got some booze for me?" And I often do because everyone knows when you go to a place to investigate, you bring your little red wagon full of booze.
No, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, you're there to hunt spirits, right? You might as well bring your own.
You got to booze it up.
Yeah.
But okay, Dylan, come on, buddy. Really?
That's gonna be me as a
Bring it.
ghost.
Oh yeah.
Bring it up a notch
You-
at least.
No, that's right where we need to be. And
I think that's gonna be my thing.
yeah, I thought
I'm never
Dylan
bringing it up.
was like gonna just go after that. Like that was his big
That was
big
the
mic
mic
drop,
drop,
moment.
yep.
Yeah. He's
So-
like, click out.
My
Also,
note,
okay.
kind of agreeing with Michael, is questioning how much of this is really happening rather than in their head. For me, also as a Hellraiser fan, which I think, once again, love a lot of Hellraiser, cannot defend large portions of that franchise. But again, it was kind of reminiscent somewhat to Hellraiser for me as like what's really going on, who's going crazy. Love Room 64. Yep.
Yeah.
My last two notes, my last three notes, these are all very quick. The music in this show is fucking awesome.
Yes.
The fashion is on point. Everybody looks fantastic. Like, I love everybody's costumes in this. And then my last note is Hotel California.
Costume design, flawless.
Yeah, the production design in general in this is really good.
I was really hoping for a cameo from Peter Murphy.
Really
that would have made it.
My last note is Hotel California. Forget what I said about the music being awesome, because fuck the Eagles and especially that song.
Yeah, when that song hit, I'm like, ugh.
I was so disappointed.
It was very obvious.
Yeah,
that was the first time I ever heard that song. So,
shut the fuck up.
So, Dylan, after watching episode 1, what did you think this show was going to be about?
So I wrote down some questions that I thought and some predictions. I'm just going to go through them in general. I said, let's see. Wes Bentley is the real protagonist and friend of the girl who was the victim. And it's going to kind of follow him in his clairvoyance, and ultimately he's going to fail to rescue her. I said that the thing in room 33, the thing in room 33 they hint at, is like this Nosferatu-style super old vampire, like the first one, so at some point it would get out and cause trouble.
Well, I had that as well, I dove into that. I was thinking more of that sludgy blob thing that was on, what was that, Creep Show? Is that where that's from?
Oh,
you guys remember that thing on the lake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I pictured in 33, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought that Wes Bentley's kid was going to be his undoing. He was going to try and rescue his kid once he found out the vampires taking him, stuff like that. I thought that Kathy Bates would get revenge on Sarah Paulson's character, but her son wouldn't go along with it and kill her in the end because he likes being a vampire. And that Lady Gaga would be the triumphant villain of the show. I was as far as I'm aware, I was 100% incorrect on all of these counts.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Yeah. After watching the first episode, I'm like, all right, so A, somebody has a real hard on for The Shining, and B, it's like, I get what they're doing, and this is, if you're bad and they see you're bad, you go to 64, and they're just going to, murder you. Let's see, did we miss anything out of episode 1? So what I wrote down was multiple timelines. I hate that always. Kathy Bates' origin as a desk person, a lot of murders. Lady Gaga, the negative man from Doom Patrol, love to drink blood. Detective Bagwatcher from American Beauty loses his son and shows his daughter some guts. Sarah Paulson does some heroin and gets killed. Weird full-skin man with screw strap-on rapes Schmidt to death, all while 2 tourists try to Karen their way into cooler parties and get killed. And Kevin James's neighbor buys a hotel and his kid get introduced to some Children of the Corn while playing video games. At the end of this episode, I was like, I have zero idea what this show was going to be about.
This where these kids are, these are like 8 to 10-year-old kids with these giant
Game Boys
screens
Tetris
playing Tetris and Pac-Man. There is no way that these kids are playing these games. It is 2021.
But I don't think it is.
Not in that one. Not in that time.
Because one of the time frames is like the late 90s. And that's once they showed me the multiple timelines, I'm like, I'm going to hate this already.
It was, but still, those big giant...
but they were
big giant, like Dave and Buster's touch screens.
I don't care. The egg chairs, like the Dr. Evil chairs.
Yeah.
The whole setup was just like wrong.
Now, Matt, you've seen this whole season, correct?
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, it's probably in there somewhere.
And Michael, you have not seen this season, correct?
No, I have not seen this season at all.
Okay, so what did you think this season? But you have seen American Horror Story, so you had an idea what was going to happen. Also, I was pretty upset. No Evan Peters, and we'll get to who else I was upset about not being in episode 1 later on. But what did you think this season was going to be about?
I thought it was going to be a vampire season. I was not expecting these ghosts, like possible ghosts. Maybe there's ghosts of ghosts.
Yeah.
The ghosts are made by the vampires. I'm trying to figure out who is able to make the ghosts ghosts. At first, like I only took notes on the first actual episode, and then the rest of it is my questions about what like it comes to.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hop into the last episode then. So episode 12 of that
Can
season.
I just say, Zach, I think it's very important that episode 1, it's blatantly shown to the audience that this detective is a very bad dad. First of all, he loses one kid. Okay, loses one kid at a fair.
Yeah.
That's bad dad number 1.
Right,
Number 2, he just leaves his little girl see these murder bodies. Or is that in the next episode?
No,
it's not. First
Yeah,
episode.
it's in the first one.
So fucks up both kids pretty bad.
But I will say, to refute this, he does not take a phone call to read Little Women over the phone with his daughter. So
that's just a trick he's playing on the viewer, because he's like, oh, well, I already lost one kid. I guess I can read a book to the other.
yeah, I took that as he hates his wife and was doing that against her.
Oh, I like that.
But okay,
nice.
I definitely don't think that that's true. Can I get one of my questions answered, because I don't know that it's going to get answered, and I don't think it factors into anything.
Yeah.
But the text that he does take when he turns his back on his son on the merry-go-round, was he cheating on his wife at that point? Is that
With
from
Lady
like his
Gaga,
secret
yes.
mistress?
Oh.
Because that's like, I figured that's why the wife hated him, because he lost their son while he was taking a text message from his mistress or girlfriend or whatever.
Okay. So he was cheating on his wife with a vampire lady. While
I don't know that it has anything to do with vampires, because at this point I'm thinking that he's the detective who's going to figure out what's going on in the hotel. I don't think he has anything to do with the hotel itself.
Right, but now that your question is answered, and we do know that he was cheating on his wife with Lady Gaga, who is a vampire lady, and I guess that we do know after watching the last episode that he is a serial murderer. So I'm assuming that he was just murdering those people to get blood for the vampire lady, because Gaga has the goods in bed, right? Because she is a freak in the sheets, as Dylan keeps reminding me via text message.
Yeah.
So now that we're on episode 12,
as
like,
he
really?
keeps reminding us in the group chat.
Yeah, really. Like, let's just keep that.
She's
simple.
really listen. Gaga's really attractive. Okay.
No, that's true.
God.
Yeah, she's iconic.
Yeah. Not her best acting, though, I will say. But
In
true.
Gaga's name, we pray for baby we are born this way.
Well, can I say, does her acting improve in other things? Because this is really my only touchstone for her.
Yeah, I mean, she's an Oscar winner, I believe, for A Star Is Born. At least nominated. Yeah.
Gaga's physical acting is really cool. Like the way she moves and stuff.
Yeah.
Is really awesome. But when she has to talk, it's not believable when she talks.
See, I thought that was being done intentionally. I thought she was like so far removed from like normalcy that she was just kind of a weirdo in the show.
If that's the case, then she did great. But like
that's how I interpreted it. I don't know.
Like when you see her hand like coming up towards somebody and she's like creeping around, it was like, wow, this lady's awesome. And then she talks and it's like, is this a robot?
Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, like I understand what Matt's saying, because a lot of it is really hammy. Like a lot of the way that she's moving around, like, you know, when she walks up to that graveyard movie theater scene and she has like her hand on that dude's shoulder and they walk the entire way that way. It's like, all right, that's crazy. That scene in that episode was so awesome. Like from them getting ready to going to see the movie,
to ending up, at the orgy and then killing
Blood orgy.
everybody. But the movie or the music that's playing under that and just the way both of them are moving was like so fucking cool. I was totally into it.
Yeah. I agree. It was like a long music video that ended in a lot of blood.
A lot of CGI blood.
A lot of blood. So we get to episode 12, which is called Be Our Guest. B, do you mind explaining what happens in this episode?
I don't remember.
All right, so here.
12?
Yeah, the last episode.
You tell me.
All right, here's what I wrote down.
I remember the basic plot.
Yeah. So IMDb has this episode as Iris and Liz oversee a new era at the Cortez. John and Alex struggle to adapt to life outside the hotel. Okay, cool. I don't remember who John and Alex are, so I don't know about that.
John is the detective, right?
John. Yeah, okay.
John will
but
be
here,
the detective, yeah.
Yeah, so here's what I wrote. This episode is narrated by Liz, which is weird, and it shows her eventual demise. We get to see all the ghosts in the hotel, including Evan Peters, maybe the owner of also the owner of the hotel, who's Kevin James's neighbor in that one show. Yep. We also see the tourists are now ghosts. Heroin Paulson, and apparently due to low Yelp ratings, management says that they cannot kill any more people.
I forgot about Yelp until I rewatched these episodes. I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
They really care about Yelp. But instead, let's make a lot of clothes. And then after a psychic reading from not dead heroin user Sarah Paulson, turns out that Liz wants to die because her boyfriend is mad at her, and also maybe pancakes. And now Psychic Paulson gets to do a reading on Devil's Night with the 10 Commandment killers, Detective Plastic Bag Watcher, who I guess it killed 10 people maybe or more, who knows, and meets all the most prolific serial killers to be emotionally manipulated into not telling on them. Gaga kills Liz, Psychic Paulson runs, and Gaga goes on killing, and oh yeah, the daughter of the detective grows up by herself. So, okay.
Okay. So,
Liz is off.
So the thing that I remembered about that episode was Liz. She's the only one that mattered to me.
Best character in the entire show.
Very good character.
She's absolutely flawless. Yes.
Best dressed, besides those horrible earrings, the best dress, like those long flowing dresses. I wish I could pull that off. And
I agree.
Even that bedazzled rainbow black like mini dress that she's wearing at the beginning of this last episode, I was like, fucking yes.
Yeah.
You brushed over the Medium and her who's who of serial killer dinner parties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know if people want to talk about that. Yeah, we can get into it.
I'm just saying, like, this episode felt like a vignette episode almost.
It was very strange, and we got a Richard Ramirez in this that looked so fucking goofy. When we have 1984, Richard Ramirez is like a main character in it, and he looks super awesome. Like the guy that they got to play him is fucking perfect. I don't know who this goofball is and why they put this ugly wig on him, but he looks so stupid.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, he obviously stole Marky Ramone's wig for the shooting, and they're set. So I mean, we have. So what is it, like serial killer hangout clubhouse that only happens on Mischief Night, or is it Halloween? Whatever.
Devil's Night.
Okay, so they throw some Crow lore into it. So Brandon Lee escorts each and every one of these serial killers from the land of the dead.
I wish Brandon Lee was in this.
To room 6. He is in the middle of it. So Brandon Lee, to lift the evil curse from the hotel, you have to beat Brandon Lee in Giant Tetris. So that's what the little vampire kids are training for the entire time, is to get really good at Giant Tetris to beat Brandon Lee in crow form so that they can save the hotel.
See,
Okay.
I buy that because Brandon Lee died in what, 98?
Yeah.
93.
93.
Yeah.
Okay,
Three?
so
Yeah.
he would
Wow.
be good at, like, Tetris would be what he would have been playing. So
Okay, so
maybe that is why these kids.
Here's
don't
some
play
questions that I had. B, you love this series. At some point, does
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
All
pretty
I
sure
heard,
I have a
I heard was,
screenshot, yeah.
I want to look at Lady Gaga again.
That's the
all I
only
heard.
reason why I watched it. That's the only reason.
Okay,
That's the only thing. I never said it was good.
does Liz take over as narrator through the season, or is that just like episodically there's different narrators, or does she become almost the star of the show?
Honestly, she was the star of my heart. I could care less about how she was in the show, but she stole my heart, and that's all that matters.
Well, okay, that's fair.
No, honestly, she's pretty much just the narrator for like the last episode.
Okay.
For every other episode, there is no one narrator.
Okay.
You'll occasionally see something from like one character's point of view. It's not the entire episode, no.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's really weird because American Horror Story does seem to do that. Because in 1984, we're doing like a slasher movie through the whole thing. Up until the last, I think it is just the last episode where we have friendly ghosts, and it's so strange. They do seem to do like a hard turn on the last episode of every season of this show.
Well,
It
you know
always
how
starts off really strong and then ends up very weird.
You know how it is with ghosts, though, Michael. And as a ghost hunter myself, I know this from my experience with apparitions. Often, Michael, these new ghosts, they're angry. They want revenge. They want to kill some bitches. It happens, okay? But much like, a person throughout their life, they gain a wisdom, and they look back upon that anger, and they kind of chill out a bit, and they make better decisions, and they figure, I'm here with all these ghosts for really hell a long time. Might as well be cool. And that's what happens. And I feel that American Horror Story Hotel and 1984 did a great job in putting that reality into their fiction.
Okay.
Sure.
I have another question though. Matt, throughout the season, does Liz's boyfriend Rufio, does he show up ever? Like, what's the storyline with Tristan?
No. This is the first you even hear of it.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I know,
You hear
right?
of it?
Yep, the first you hear of it, you know she's sad and she's there and awesome. But that's it. And
I have a feeling that you have not seen the season and or are lying about that.
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't think he's lying about that. I think that's just how fucking off the rails this show gets each season.
I think the show might be written for moments, not an arc.
It's not good.
This could be a better thing for the show to turn into is we ask questions about what happens in the middle. Somebody either lies to us or tells the truth. and we have to
what's true.
Yeah,
And for the most part, we'll never know because most of these shows I'm never going to watch the middles of. Like, whatever we come up with, that's my headcanon for these shows.
Yeah, that's fair.
In this last episode, two things that I really took away with it was that whoever Evan Peters, that's his name, right? Evan Peter.
Yeah.
I always for some reason I always want to switch his names around. Who I think is great. This season, I do not like his character at all.
Is he the
I kind of want to.
Is he the one who looks like Gomez Adams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a little backhand,
The one who I'm assuming that he was the first one. I thought he was the first
hotel owner.
And he's also the pierogi, the dumpling wrapper rape machine guy. Like, that's him.
He also used
alright.
to be he also used to be married to the Countess. Fun fact, the character,
who's the
Mr. March.
Oh, the
Gaga.
Gaga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Wow.
he's
She's just called the
the-
Countess.
but he's also the drill raper guy,
Yeah, he's the pierogi man.
and he just hates heroin users.
Yeah, because I mean, those are the only people you see him rape. Is that guy, and then the girl who plays the junkie ghost in the hotel. I forget her name. In this one, he threatens
what was her
her,
name?
basically like, you stop
liked
killing
her.
people because you remember what happens, and then it shows a flashback to him raping her too.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Okay. Also, so Sarah
Yeah.
Paulson was the heroin junkie, but also the psychic. Is that
Yeah.
a thing? Is that a split personality thing? Or
No.
what?
The psychic is, I think, from season 1. I think
The
this is a
psychic-
shared
Oh.
character.
The psychic is from another season.
Oh, so
I-
each season is a universe. Also,
Yes, they tied.
Oh.
I haven't seen it, but I know they tied together in like the last one. That wasn't actually the last one because
So
it makes
does-
too much money.
Does she play two characters in every season?
I don't know about every season, but yeah,
So-
I mean, it's definitely happened before. And I thought the psychic was from season 3, the witch thing, but I could be mistaken
Maybe.
as well.
So
Well, she
no,
talks
I
about
thought the psychic was from season 1.
she
like
talks
the
about
murder
seeing a
house.
house.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you're probably right.
Yeah,
But nobody-
she's the,
I think
nobody-
she was from the murder house.
yeah, she's the one who talks to the ghost of the house.
yeah, and nobody says like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you look just like that heroin junkie girl, ghost."
No,
Okay.
I
Nope.
wouldn't have ever known that was the same actress.
Oh,
Because
And
the,
really,
the, the makeup and the hair and everything, like, I don't know, I
okay.
wouldn't
Another
have noticed.
question.
I
Another
didn't
question I
even
have.
notice.
Do you watch the daughter of the Ten Commandments killer grow up? Does she pop in and out, or is that something that only shows back up at the end? Because it
No.
seemed like Devil's Night was a big deal.
No, yeah, it was a big deal when it became a big deal in the last show. It was like, oh yeah, by
Yeah.
the way, here's this thing we do. There was one other episode that I can remember that was a previous Devil's Night, and you're introduced to this array of serial killers. And yeah, apparently, because Brandon Lee
At the
brings
dining
them
room
in.
table.
Yep,
Yeah.
and they have a family dinner and they kill someone. Then Brandon Lee eats hot dogs.
Very
with,
wholesome.
the little
Nice.
girl, the little kids, the vampire kids. No onions because
Yeah.
they make you toot.
So
Gross.
now the Tetris room, they are using those. They're brainwashing those children, right?
I assume they were just occupying these vampire kids who are never going to grow up. It's like, here, play video games forever.
So they stole Holden off of the merry-go-round, turned him into a vampire, and then just put him in this Tetris room.
They're the Countess's little children. They're her
And-
kids.
What do they do?
Yeah. She wanted to
They
play
eat-
mommy.
The trophies.
Eat
They
candy,
come out-
play video games.
Yeah, they come out when a new guest comes in and freak them out, and then every once in a while they kill one and drink their blood.
Now, did the guy who bought the hotel in episode 1, his son was introduced to those children of the corn?
Mhm.
Did that kid turn into one also?
I had the same question.
We don't see them in the final episode at all.
No.
He never mentions
Yeah.
his child.
No,
But
it's
they
insane.
do say no. They actually do reference that he was sent away to a military academy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh, hi.
he wants to keep him safe from the hotel. But what happens when they first introduce him to the other kids? He starts acting out, like he's stealing their candy. He's fucking up the walls with Sharpie markers. He plays with matches. So
Oof.
they send him away.
to military camp.
Bad boy.
Oh, that's funny. Also, how does the owner of the hotel, the guy who bought the hotel in episode 1, how does he die?
The fashion
Vampire
guy?
sex.
Oh.
Now
Oh,
I have a question, and it involves.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Countess kills him, right? Am I forgetting that?
The front
I don't
desk
know.
lady. the front desk lady pushes him down the stairs because
Oh, okay,
Kathy
okay.
Bates.
Never mind,
he
that
is
was someone
stealing
else.
the
Yeah.
attentions of her boy.
Cool.
Okay, so
Oh.
no, okay, so you don't have to get killed by Gaga to become a ghost in this house. But not everyone who dies in the hotel becomes a ghost.
True.
That's true, Michael. It's genetics, and as a ghost hunter myself, my experience with these apparitions, I've learned a great deal about.
B, now,
B, you're
can I
breaking it. Damn
I would
it.
like to get some straight answers from B, because is there a rhyme or reason to how these ghosts are created? And because the ghosts can interact with people, like with corporeal people. There's also a blood drinking. So are they vampires? Also, is Liz a ghost when we meet her, or is she alive?
No, she's alive.
She's
alive.
the
Okay,
entire
so she
time.
is alive. Okay, so when
the entire
she
time,
got
except until the end.
okay, when she got cancer, I was like, did this ghost get cancer and then they killed the ghost and now there's a ghost of a ghost?
Yes. I mean,
'Cause
you
that
know,
would've been-
any ghost hunter can tell you that's a common occurrence.
Okay,
That would be ridiculous, Michael.
I am so much happier knowing that she was alive that whole time, because if she was a ghost and they killed her and she became a ghost of a ghost, I was going to say we're never doing another season of American Horror Story again, because that's the stupidest shit I ever heard.
Okay, another question. So, Kathy Bates' son, who's a heroin user, who is also Gaga's sex partner, he was a ghost in episode 1. Right?
True.
Or no?
They
Yeah.
do that flashback at the end where it's Gaga turning him.
Yeah.
So, but then at the very end, like
Yeah.
episode 12, we don't see him again. What happens to that dude?
Unless B wants to answer this one, I'm fine with taking it.
No, you go for it. You go for it.
So the episode after the first Devil's Night, they're one of the the first Devil's Night where all the serial killers are introduced. the bad kid, okay, he goes out and gets a werewolf. This werewolf gets loose, bites the eye candy vampire guy, and what happens is because he is part vampire already, instead of turning into a lycanthrope, he turns into that lumberjack, the gay lumberjack you see at the end of the season.
He's a half ghost, half vampire who gets bit by a werewolf and turns into a gay lumberjack.
Wait a minute.
It sounds like he's making this up, but it happened.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
As a cryptid hunter myself, I'm going to have to say that if a vampire gets bitten by a werewolf, the vampire side is going to win out. You can turn a vampire into a ghost, but you can't turn a vampire into a werewolf.
Exactly. Hence the gay lumberjack, Michael.
It's not like Alien and Predator where you get the pred alien at the end. You don't get like a werepire.
Well,
no, but you can get a vamp ghost.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, Dylan, do you have any questions about what happened in the middle of season 5 of American Horror Story outside of the only way to turn into a gay lumberjack story?
I mean, I don't know that any question I have is going to be answered sufficiently. Like I said, this show seems to be written for moments. It's like, don't worry about consistency. Yeah. Don't worry about your story. Don't worry about character. Well, some character stuff. But for the most part, it's like, nah, this time we're doing a werewolf. What happens when it bites a vampire? Who gives a shit? Let's just do it.
I don't believe it. I don't believe the werewolf.
They're like, we'll figure that at the end of the season. We don't need to worry about it now.
When the vampire bites the werewolf becomes a ghost of a gay lumberjack.
I cannot believe this.
I don't know.
There is no
5 full seconds
Okay.
of silence from everybody on the panel.
I am absolute. You know what? When we started this, I was like, I am gonna watch the first episode of that, and I was like, whatever. It's kind of dumb. But if we have this actual vampire, werewolf, ghost, lumberjack thing happening, I am absolutely going to watch the rest of this season because
Okay.
I need to see this with my own eyes.
There is
Can I
no
give one spoiler?
There is
Michael?
no way a half ghost, half vampire turned werewolf turned gay lumberjack who is rooting for good Yelp reviews is an actual show.
Okay, this from the guy who has become an iCarly fan. Right, Zach. Anyway, so spoiler on this one, guys. Room 33, they find out when they're chasing down the werewolf, they bust in there. It is actually a humanoid body Frankenstein together from 72 missing people.
Cool. Cool.
It encompasses the entire
100% in
room.
for that. I'm 100% there for that. Why?
His name's JoJo.
I don't buy that.
No, you were no. God damn it!
All right.
You guys were not paying attention to our first episode, or else you would have known that Matt was full of absolute shit.
I knew that exactly. I did. Dylan bought it. He still buys the werewolf thing, which there's no way there's freaking
Sounds fine
werewolf.
to me.
Okay,
I want to
the
see
werewolf
76
thing,
body
yes.
Frankenstein.
But the
I will-
Frankenstein from 72 missing people, that is absolute bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on this one. I win the episode because I found the lie.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So everyone, thank you for watching. Apparently, Michael Colby won episode 3 of
He
No Time
wins
to Binge.
every freaking time.
That's true.
Well,
Damn it!
when you make up the rules, you get to win whenever you want. That's how it works.
That's
when
fair.
when the other people don't even know that they're playing a game.
That's so American. B, do you think that it is worth watching this entire season?
Yeah.
B
Okay.
has a case of the deterior Wi-Fi. You know, this week, everyone, much like the Hotel Cortez, Matt Deterior is now in 2022 with working functional Wi-Fi.
Yay!
Yay!
You are
Okay,
no
so-
longer putting the deterior in deteriorating.
I'm going to say that the first thing that really stood out in my mind while watching the show was the directing is absolutely poor. The usage of fisheye lenses and pseudo drone work is disgusting.
A lot of dolly zoom.
Yeah, there's way too many characters. There's way too many timelines. There's way too much going on, and nothing seems real. And also, that whole fake narrator thing falls into it. So it's like, I don't know if these ghosts are actually doing something or if people dying from the heroin because of. I'm going to say, do not watch this show unless you're a fan of American Horror Story. Do not start with season 5 because it will not make any sense to you. Also, it seems like season 5 is irritating, full of aggressive cliches and some stupid stuff. But Michael Colby, what do you think about season 5 of American Horror Story?
I'm gonna say the first episode is awesome with a lot of very cool death scenes, even though the first of the Swedish tourists that they kill, there's a lot of back and forth shots where in one shot there's a bunch of blood and then in the next shot there's no blood. And it was really like, why don't they just have the blood? But anyway, there is awesome music in that. There is a fucking hot sex scene in it. I would definitely recommend the first episode. And I swear to God, if there is a werewolf vampire ghost, I do think it would be worth it to watch the season because the seasons, at least the ones I saw, are very snappy. Like they're very easy to watch. It's not a chore to watch them. So if what Matt is saying is true, except for the Frankenstein, I'm going to say watch that first season. I'm going to.
Season 1?
Oh, season 1 with the ghost
5?
house? I have no idea. Season 5, yeah, the one with Gaga.
Dylan, what do you think? Would you watch this season?
No.
Perfect.
No.
Perfect.
I don't know. I saw the first season. Like, I watched that kind of like in the background when I was home from college a while ago.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't get into this. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I got. I don't have anything snappy. I was just completely unimpressed.
Yeah, that's fair. I was absolutely more annoyed than anything else. So, Matt DeTier, I think we're going to do A Good Place for next week's episode. Have you seen that show whatsoever?
I have never even heard of that show, but
good.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right. Now, real quick, just so that everyone's on the same page, are we watching episode 1, season 1, and then the very, very final episode,
Yes.
right?
Yep, it's 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
It's four seasons, 13 episodes each.
Okay, cool. So we're going to watch season 1, episode 1, and then season 4, episode 13.
Yes.
And then Matt, I guess because Michael, you've seen this show, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah,
And
I love this show.
Dylan, you've seen this show.
Love it. Adore it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the best one he's done.
Right. Excellent. I agree. Cool. Excellent. So next week we're going to watch, and some of us are going to have no time to binge, A Good Place, which is a great, great show, full of absolute heart and emotion. And I'm really curious to see how that show evolves over 4 seasons without watching it when it first came out. So, real quick, anything you want to say last, Matt Deterior, and whatever, we'll say our goodbyes. And what do you want to do? Do you want to like rate this, or what? Just no binge, right? Binge or no binge? Oh, good.
Again, like any American Horror Story, I like horror. I like weirdo, messed up stuff. They have enough of that in any season that I'm gonna watch it. Again, not going to defend it. I do find it amusing how against it Dylan and Zach are. That's fun. I do like that they ended with Lady Gaga reminding you that she's Hottie 5000, and she has a catchphrase. The jawline for days is apparently her. Who's that? Did I do that kid?
Urkel.
That's her Urkel catchphrase, like jawlines for days.
She says it in every episode except one.
Yep. Look at my man, Candy.
When Gaga says, "Got any cheese?"
I'm back.
Wait, do you think she collects jaws? Like, is that a thing, or like she just likes to bite under the jaw?
The fuck did I miss?
You just missed Matt comparing Lady Gaga to Steve Urkel from Family Matters.
I did do that, didn't I? Huh.
Yeah.
Neat.
Listen, please do not make me attracted to Steve Urkel than I already am.
Have you seen his breast implants recently? They're not bad.
Wait, what?
Cool.
Urkel.
What?
Oh boy. B, have you seen the show A Good Place?
Yes, I have.
All right. So that's what we're going to do next week. We're going to binge, or maybe no time to binge, A Good Place episode. Wait, so only Matt has not
this
seen
is the
it?
Matt Deterior one?
Oh no!
I am going to have
this
so
is a
many
bad
questions.
idea then.
Yeah, so maybe we should change this up a little bit.
2 of us have to at least not seen it.
Yeah, I agree. Let's watch another one of B's animes if that's cool.
Yeah.
B, why don't you pick another anime for us to not have time to binge watch?
Okay. Have you guys seen the show Trigun?
No.
Absolutely not.
No? Oh, I can't wait. Okay. Yeah, that's
All
going
right,
to be a good
now,
one.
Is this another
solid show.
anthology style show, or can we watch episode 1 and then the very last episode?
The very last. Yep, you just start first episode, last episode. It's all one continuous story.
Okay.
Excellent. Cool. All right, so we're going to skip A Good Place until a later date, and
we'll have to try
until someone hasn't seen it yet.
We'll have
until
to
you
find
guys
some
forget
people
about
who
it.
haven't seen
Yeah, until we recast a couple of these people. Probably, definitely not Matt. Anyway, tune in next week when we're going to not find time to binge Trigun, which B suggests, which is going to be amazing, I guess. Until next time, guys. People want to say goodbyes, right? Is that a thing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I would love to say goodbye to everyone.
All right, let's just all say goodbye at the same time since we already did our plan.
Okay.
Okay.
On three.
Yeah.
One, two. Hey,
three.
everyone.
Goodbye,
everyone.
Make sure you listen to
if
Jack
you want to see
Billings
pictures of
presents Me and my neighbor
record
Michael.
collection,
Put our ghost and
we have a
hunting
GoFundMe.
adventures
We also
on
have
YouTube,
a Patreon.
and we
I'll
also
fix my
have
internet.
Thanks,
a Patreon, and you can visit my OnlyFans where you can see my dick.
SomeNobodies.com. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Dylan.
And now for something completely different.
What I do is I look a woman up and down and I say,
I'm coming to join you, bitch.
Oh, is that too far?
Oh, you want to get into things?
Well, I mean,
No. Let's get into things. Let's get real. Everybody, BoJack wants to get real. Cancel the bubble round, because we're getting real.